Emmy.
Yeah. Wait, who am I?
All right, you ready?
Yes.
No.
Well, wait, where am I supposed to look? Like right at the camera?
Yes. You don't want to look at me, but if you feel whatever you feel comfortable doing, like it'll work. So it's fine.
Okay.
It's focused on you and how, and really I could just see here up. So if you want
Solid.
to cross your legs or whatever, it's not looking at the whole shebang. But I
Do
kind of like to know.
like the hunchback?
No, not at all.
I need a good posture.
Actually, that sweatshirt's perfect. Did you
This
wear that? Did you
sweatshirt
wear
is
that on
perfect.
purpose?
No, I wore it because I didn't want to wear anything else. It wasn't clean.
Well, it's perfect. It's like perfectly in.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
All right, ready? Okay. Can you tell us who you are?
Yes. My name is Emily McGee, and I am 29 years old.
How do you know Courtney and Allie? Oh, hold on.
Okay. Courtney and Allie, how long have I known? Since 6th grade. Courtney was in my typing class. I remember very vividly. And Allie was best friends with a mutual best friend.
Who are they to you now?
Me and Courtney, we talk every now and then, and I still think of her as a very good friend. And me and Allie are still very close. Like, I invite her over, I come over, we know everybody, our families, the whole thing.
Tell me about you as a person.
Me as a person, I am very, very nice. That sounds very like full of myself, but like among all my friends, I'm the nicest. And I think I am very positive and very good with kids. Before everything happened, I was, what is it? Oh, a first grade teacher. I was like, what is it called? I was a first grade teacher, and yeah, I'm very nice.
It's gonna be hard not to laugh through this. You're
I know.
hilarious.
Perfect.
Okay, tell us about your childhood.
Wait, sorry. Some things are harder to answer because I don't remember.
That's okay.
That's okay.
Well,
Oh, no. No. Not like I don't remember my childhood. Like, I don't have a very good memory.
just okay. So
The brain cancer took away.
Oh my god. As a childhood. Okay.
So say what. Just speak to what you do. So like, how did do you remember how your parents met?
Oh, okay, no. I remember, okay, as a kid, like, I always followed all the rules, and in 2001, I got type 1 diabetes.
Hold on
idea
just a
what that
second.
is.
What is that?
A fire thing,
I've never heard that noise before.
right?
That's weird.
Okay, let's try again. No, I'm good. So you were saying,
In 2001, no, in 2000, in one of those years, I got type 1 diabetes, and it was on the weekend of Easter, and I just remember playing outside a lot. I was very, very creative. I'm trying to. Nope, that's all.
No, it's okay. That's okay. Do you have siblings, and who are they?
Well, you played
Yeah.
sports and stuff during your childhood. That was a huge part of your life.
Oh, I have
Yeah,
a
see, that's
photo
why you guys
of
are
me
here.
and Stephanie wearing all purple everything.
Why?
She was a driller.
I don't know.
Sweatshirt
Well, I think I
17
played
years.
soccer. And
That was
I
nice.
volunteered even as a child a lot.
You're nice.
Yeah, it goes
Yeah,
back.
that was nice.
Oh yeah.
But soccer was a huge part of your life. Like,
Soccer was, yeah. Like I thought for a long time soccer was my life. And then I found out Nick Jonas had diabetes. So I was going to cure diabetes with him. I can dream, okay?
you had diabetes ever since, like, so 2001 it was first grade.
One something.
Ever since. Yes. Because I know, I think it was 2001. Because my first grade teacher, I remember, so when you get diabetes, not always, but in my case, you're very, very thirsty and you have to pee right away. Like, water, that's it. Like, that's your life. And so my teacher moved my desk by the door so I could just run out to get water and run to the, go back, run. It's like a triangle.
Yeah. Well, at that time, you were taking insulin shots, so you didn't have, like, an actual pump. So it was like a constant, you had to go to the nurse's office. I remember when I met you, even in 6th grade, constant nurse's office to get your insulin after you ate or anything.
Oh yeah, it was like an insulin shot. So now I have the insulin pump, so it pretty much does all the work. But at the time, for quite a while, I had to count carbs and figure out like how much insulin itself to take. So I remember, like, in middle school, I did teach Allie about, like, let's do this. And then my neighbor was my best friend. He still is, Evan. And so he learned how to do all that.
And I thought it was an iPod.
A lot of people, no. Yeah. But yeah, that because it saw my hip.
It sat on her hip on her belt, and I was like, we're like the bell rang. And I was
Like,
like,
put it away.
take your iPod off. And she was like, it's fine.
Well, a teacher thought it was an iPod too, and almost made the principal, and I was like, "Do you want me to die?" Like, and then it was
Jeez.
fine.
Yeah, we were fine.
All was
So
well.
when was the first? Because now isn't the first time that you had any issues with a brain tumor.
Sure.
Yeah. So your first time that you ever even found out about anything to do with the brain, you're just having headaches, and when was that?
2000 something.
Yeah.
But in specifically Easter.
So I had my first brain surgery in December 2009 because I was a freshman and I remember I was playing soccer and I had butted the ball and I couldn't play the rest of the game because I like blacked out and I had to carry off the field. It was very dramatic. And then, then I went in because I was having like very terrible headaches, but nothing really like conclusive, I guess. And then at that point, I had they were benign, so they weren't cancers at the time. One, I think, I don't know for sure, but I think one tumor and then this thing called the Chiari. And it's like, well, if you're lucky enough to get a Chiari, it like blocks the spinal fluid from your brain. So that's when I had the first surgery. They took care of both of those. And the tumor, it was a very good thing I got it taken out. but like it like wasn't like causing me to like lose periods of time, or it wasn't a huge like deal. Like it was my choice if I wanted to take it out or I didn't, and it just made sense at that point.
So that was 2009. So beginning of high school.
Yes.
And you recovered good after that.
Yeah, so after my first surgery in 2009, it really, like, very, very blessed, like, very fortunate. Everything, well, like, I ran out of breath if I talked, because I talked pretty quickly, and I think that was really it. My balance has always been a little off since then, but I, like, recovered just fine. I like the only thing I didn't know was how to ride a bike, so you don't always remember. But I like was able to like rollerblade and walk and do everything. I like a few months after surgery, like I was playing golf again. Like so, the first time around, it wasn't ideal, but it all came back like. I think like my plasticity, like it bounced back quicker. And I was younger, so.
Yeah, well, you played soccer after that too.
Yeah, so I had surgery my freshman year of high school, and I was able to still play varsity soccer, like every year until I graduated. So.
What was your recovery from? How long did it take you to recover from the first surgery?
After the first surgery, I would only go to school a half a day, so they froze my grades in high school. And I would go to, like, Monday was periods 1, 2, 3, and Tuesday 4, 5, 6. Monday 1, 2, 3, Wednesday 4, 5. No. Yeah. No, that's not right. But I was like, wait. But so it went only third day. And I had to walk with a cane for a while. But I think like recovery itself was only like okay. So recovery in the sense like I could walk and do all those things was like 3 or 4 months maybe. But like to recover, probably more like 6 to 8 months, like to have like the mindset and to everything to fall back into place. I would say it took longer, but not as long as this time.
So you think after your first one, you lived a pretty normal life after that throughout high school?
Throughout high school, I think afterwards, everything went back to what it was. Like, very blessed that everything fell back into place. Like, the only, like, challenging time really was when I only had half days because of surgery. Because when I first had it, so to put it in perspective, in 2009, I was 16, so I only cared about being pretty and having long hair, and so, like, at that point, I, like, hush, don't tell anyone I'm having surgery, like, no one can know, whereas, like, the second time around, I'm, like, oh, very transparent about it, but, yeah, I mean, except for like that period itself, everything went back to what it was.
Good.
Why did you feel like you could be more transparent the second time around?
This time around, I've like been more open about everything, and I think it goes towards. Why?
Maybe partially your age and just.
No, I think really like if. Because I'm, age, like, I'm older, so I, like, have a better understanding, because when I was younger, it's like, well, here we go. I'm like, okay, like, we're doing it. But now it's like, well, I understand other people.
Yeah. Yeah. No, of course.
It's just not fair for other people.
Yeah.
All of but it's a good thing I'm wearing fake eyelashes.
We got plenty of
Still
blue.
cares about being
Yeah.
pretty.
Yeah.
Is my hair long? No, I think really it goes to that. Like, if other people go through it, well, man, this is like real right.
Yeah.
So if other people go through it, like, just like they're not alone. Like, well, and the other thing is like, really, like your day is sucky, but so is mine.
Yeah.
Like, it's very important, I think, to like put things in perspective. Not to say like what I'm going through is worse than a paper cut. Like, yes, that really. No, really, like, a paper cut does suck. Like, you should be upset about that. Like, but, so it's not like comparing the two. It's all in my head.
Yeah.
So, I think it's really, yeah.
So what? So you said that if other people are going through it, so if someone was at the age it happened to you the first time, what would you want them to know about the process, about what kinds of things that could potentially come up? And you want to speak a little bit towards like what you would want to say maybe to the younger version of you?
Okay. So for
Go
To the younger
yeah,
version.
touch back to this, but explain, because you had your surgery right after this was your second surgery. Kind of, you're able to touch bases more on after.
yeah, no, if I could go back to 16-year-old Emmy, like, man, things get better. Like, even now, like,
Yeah.
well, what's that? So, the quote that, my mom always say, well, me and Axel too, but, like, I, like, love eyes, like, even, hold on. Okay. Even baby steps are moving forward.
Colson.
Yeah. And so I think like things, it's really like even now it's like, oh, I'm crying, like, but like internally it's like, oh, like how ridiculous. Like you're sitting with very great people, like you're at home, like you're safe, like, so it's like, why are you sad? Like you should just be grateful. And like everything that I saw happen leading up to this, like it has not been ideal, but like miracles happen every day. So I think I would, yeah, tell the 16-year-old Emmy that, I mean, it'll get better, but also miracles happen. Leave your mom, like, not just tell myself that for the next 50 years. But, that, yeah, things would get better.
So walk us through the second time around. How did you find out? What process did you go through on the second time around?
Okay, so the second time that I had brain surgery, so the first time was December 17th, 2009, and this time was December 1st, 2020. So the year 2020 really was like a mess from the get-go. Like, I just, the whole way, like, through, it was just down. Really, though. So, I just was like, please, dear God, let me be the finale. Like, this is it. It's really is like, it can't get worse than this. And so, what happened, this is embarrassing to me. I was at the mall with my mom and sister, and my balance was very off. And I knocked over a bunch of mannequins. So the next day, I called my doctor, and I was like, hey, can I go into physical therapy? Like, and she was like, yeah, sure, like, I'll put a referral through, and just for, like, good measure, you should get an MRI. So, backstory, you can't, like, call to make an MRI, you have to be referred by a doctor. So, from, like, 2015 to 2020, like, I did not have MRIs. Like, everything was fine. I went from, like, 2009, I had them all quite often, to 2015, and everything looked good. And then I didn't have them from 2015 to 2020, and so then when I got it, the doctor, she put it through. And I had my MRI the day before Thanksgiving, and so I was like, okay. And I went, it was fine, like, great, because no one was there. And then I got a phone call on Thanksgiving, and they were like, hey, like, can you come in, like, we need to talk to you. And I'm not very good at waiting, so I was just like, just to tell it to me, like, do I have to have brain surgery or not? And the person on the phone's like, yeah, you probably should. And so then I was outside my parents' house. And so then we went into my parents' house. I told my family. It was a really glorious Thanksgiving. And then, so it happened very quickly after that. So then that was Thursday. And then Friday, me and my dad went to the doctor to, like, meet the surgeon. And he was like, well, the longest I'll wait is 2 weeks, like, including the weekends, like, but that seems too long. So then it was that Tuesday. So it
What did they find?
Oh, so there was a tumor, and the reason that it was never a problem earlier, they found these tumor behind, so there's, like, scar tissue in your brain, and so where I had surgery the first time, there was a tumor growing behind the scar tissue. So we thought nothing of it, like, oh, it's okay, like, scar tissue comes and goes, and then it turned out it wasn't scar tissue, so it was quite large. When I went in on Friday to meet the surgeon, he told me that I had a tangerine in my brain, so, you know, not that great. And so when I met him, I did that, and it was a lot of paperwork that we had to fill out for leaving work, everything. So it was Friday, and then Saturday, Sunday, and it was Thanksgiving weekend, so everything took much longer because no one's working.
Did you do a Black Friday discount?
I wish I got it. Black Friday, yeah! And so then on Monday, there was, like, a bunch of, like, pre-labs I had to get done, and, like, a bunch of scans I had to do. So I went, and then Tuesday at Seattle Swedish, I think it's called Seattle Swedish, that is where I had my surgery. And it was very, like, I don't want, like, very fortunate. The person who did my surgery in 2009, he also was able to do my surgery this time in 2020. So, I mean, but it was just a very quick process. The biggest thing, but so in 2020, COVID hit. So the surgery, I had it on December 1st, but I could have no visitors or family. It's very sad. Yeah, but no one could come. Like, it was just a lot of phone calls.
So you were completely alone when you woke up?
And how many days was that?
19.
Yeah.
So I got to come home before Christmas, which was great. But I was in the hospital from December 1st to December 19th. And then coming out of the hospital, I mean, I've been very fortunate. Like, mentally, everything's been okay. Like, I'm really there, but, like, I cannot walk. Sorry.
It's okay.
Well, it's just like, if you imagine, like, a couch potato. That was me. Like, I just stayed on the chair the whole time. Like, I couldn't get up to do literally anything. So it was hard on me, but like, the tears are more so like for like loved ones who had to like watch me have a hard time, or like help me go to the bathroom, or help me take a shower or whatnot. Like, I just like I don't want to see nobody I care about even like nick their finger or like hit the door, whatever it might be. So I can't imagine like having to watch like someone you care about not be able to like take one single step forward.
Tell me a little bit about those 19 days where you were alone.
So when I was in the hospital for the whole 19 days, it like was very I wouldn't say it was very lonely because I didn't have any loved ones there. But like, I don't remember the beginning of it. So I had the surgery, I was asleep, I was in and out of scans, MRIs, like, it was very like touch and go for a while, like doing everything. And then like the last, I'd say maybe 2 weeks, I don't know for sure honestly, but like I kept moving floors. Like I was in like ICU, then this floor, then I ended on the rehabilitation floor. So like I had to do speech therapy, occupational therapy, and physical therapy. And honestly, like, I will always complain about having to do those things, but like having those people was very nice. Like, it was always very early. Like, physical therapy would always start at 7:30, I think, 7 or 7:30. So I was always awake and up like 6:30 and like, but they kept it like very as enjoyable as a hospital can be. Like, they were friendly and very kind, and I also think the nurses were very nice to me. I think they're nice people, but every night I would have like a cookie, well, probably chocolate chip, and I would always have a cookie, and they would always bring me milk with the cookie. And listen, it was really not so bad. Like, they were nice people, but I hated it. Like, it was probably the worst. Like, for fun, I would sit by the window and look at a building. Like, and like, it just was a nightmare. And like, the nurses, they would come in so often. Like, when people joke about, like, oh, I got no sleep, like, I had to get this, I had this, they came in, like, quite often, so it's not a joke. The night nurses were my favorite because they always brought me everything, but I would go to bed very, very early. Like, very early. I would go to bed at like 6 p.m. every single day, and then I would wake up at 9 p.m. like a normal bedtime, and eat a cookie and have milk and call my mom, and then I'd go back to bed. Like, I convinced myself the earlier I went to bed, the faster the day would go. Like, the sooner I leave. It didn't really work like that, but like, I tried my best.
When you woke up, were you able to speak right away? So you had speech therapy. Were you not able to talk in the beginning?
So my talking now it's like, I don't want to say it's like poor. Like, I speak clearly enough, like people can understand what I'm saying. But I have this, I don't know what that's a diagnosis, I guess, of ataxia. So it means like essentially everything is slowed down a little. So like, can you see my legs too? Like, the best example, I don't know, like if you go like this on your legs, like by your legs, like my left hand is very slow. So my speech is that way. So when I came out of surgery, I don't know initially like how my speaking was, but once I talked to the nurses and all this stuff, went to rehab, all of that, my speaking wasn't, I am biased, but it wasn't terrible. It just was like very slurred, and so my speech therapy was mainly like letter sounds or like blends or things like that. So honestly, so I didn't sound drunk all the time. Like, everything was slurred together. It was like I was always talking to my sleep. Like, it wasn't bad. If you tried hard enough, you could hear me and understand me. But and otherwise, no. Like, now I definitely have issues still. But like, when I got home even, so like 19 days afterwards, I like never put an S on anything. So I was like, and so instead of it's cold, I'm like, oh, it's cold. Like, oh, it right in here. Like, I never put an S. So actually really contraction was not my friend. But besides that, I mean, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna.
Was FaceTiming hard when you were in the hospital for?
FaceTiming, it wasn't necessarily difficult to FaceTime people that like I wanted to speak with. It was more so like, it was a lot of nothing. Like, when you hang out on FaceTime and you're like staring at the ceiling, and like, it was a lot of that. Like, I would call my mom or sister, be like, oh, hold on, I'm gonna eat. And like an hour and a half would go by, like nothing. So I remember, so on the iPhone, I don't know if this is a feature or it just does it, but it tells you like how long you like use your iPhone for the week. Like,
your screen time?
Yeah, just screen time, that's it. And I was like, initially, like the days leading up to surgery, I was like, oh, I'll be on FaceTime, or I'll be on my phone like an hour, like not long, like my screen time will be so low. I was like hyping myself up, like, oh, look at me, like I don't need my phone. And then it was like 12 hours, like, I've never been on my phone this much. But like the fact I couldn't have visitors at all, or like no one could hang out, like I definitely used FaceTime to my advantage. Like, and my sister let me borrow her iPad, so I would have like big screen.
Big face.
Do you want to talk about the medication that you're on now and who approached you about initially trying it?
So I'm currently taking this medicine. The generic name is Kosugo. And my oncologist, and I don't know what she is technically to me. My oncologist works very closely with UW doctor, and she studies, and she's a doctor in brain tumors. So like the center, I guess, that she works at UW is called the Brain Tumor Center. So both of them actually had mentioned the pill, but at the UW, my doctor had spoke about like different routes I could take. So the pill is currently, which is so like miraculous, really like working, and it is making the tumor shrink. But like there's like caveats with that. But I'll get back to that. The medicine itself was like brought up by both doctors. The thing is, my oncologist, she is wonderful, but she works most with cancer patients who like don't have brain cancer. I like more like bodily cancers versus brain cancer. So fun fact, brain cancer can't spread to your body, it just spreads in your brain. Whereas like breast cancer can become heart cancer, it can, I think, sort of metastasize. It can spread. But so my oncologist refers me a lot to the UW doctor because she specializes in the brain. So it's
And
kind
because you're
of,
alumni.
huh? That's right. UW. They're all the same on paper. But so the medicine's working and my tumor is shrunk. But I mean, like I had said, there's caveats to that. But I don't know. So the reason I say there are caveats because before the medication I'm on now that is working, I was taking like chemo infusions. So like I have a port, but that chemo didn't work after 4 months. So like this medication is working, but after how long will it not work? Nobody knows. So it's kind of, it's great, it's working, don't get me wrong, we'll take any good news we get. But like it's also like for how long? Because the tumor I have is a very rare breed. So it, regardless of what I do, it will always outsmart the treatment. So it's kind of just a matter of time, like until the tumor outsmarts the current medication. I hope that's making sense.
Yeah.
So it's,
When did you find out that you had that tumor?
found out.
So after your second surgery that you had in December.
So I had surgery in December 2020, and that is when I found out the tumor they had taken out was cancerous. So then in January, towards the end of January, I had started radiation, because there wasn't as much research done on chemo and radiation as just radiation by itself. So I did radiation, and radiation is just a type of therapy, and it like kills the cells around it. So the hope was that any cancerous cells it would get rid of. And it worked for some time. So January to March, I think March 4th? I don't know. It was 7 weeks long that I did radiation. And then that July, so July 30th, 2021, the doctor said, it was like, oh, we're cautiously optimistic, like you're cancer free. So doctors don't really see remission unless like they're sure, because they could get in big trouble. So I was like, heck yeah, like this is great. And then a year later, July 26th, 2022, 2022, not so good. It's just like, oh, like, you do have a tumor. And the tumor that I had, it grew very large. It was 2 centimeters by 2 centimeters. And that was in 3 months. So it was like very rapid. So then that was July 26th, and August 9th, I started chemo, the infusions. And then September 30th, I think it was the 30th, is when the doctor was like, I don't really have any good news. So they put a prognosis, which is a swanky word for a timeline of my life. I like to call it the timeline to doomsday, but to each your own. So I found out there was a timeline in September, and then November is when I stopped chemo. And then December 15th, I had another MRI, and that was also not promising. So the doctor was like, oh, you need ABC. And a lot of, I don't know, like, I say this a lot, and it sounds so silly, I know. But, like, if you ever have a choice, don't die. Like, it's a lot of work. And so I had so much paperwork I had to fill out. And then, like, all these forms. And then I had another MRI just recently, February 16th. And that is when the tumor shrunk. So it went from 2 centimeters by 2 centimeters to 0.5 centimeters by 0.3 centimeters. Yeah, so
When did
like
you start taking the med?
How long have you been taking?
I took the medication that the Kosovo that I'm currently on, like the first week week and a half of January. And then I don't know can you tell, like I have all these red dots. Mm-hmm. So those red dots, they probably go to my, like my belly button, and the same thing on my back, my face, my arms. So because of that, I stopped taking the medicine, I would say about 4 or 5 days, because I went to the doctor because so they're not as bad as they were, which they're not pretty now, but Before it was like, it looked like unpopped acne, like, so it was just full of pus though, and it was like all over my forehead, all over my chin. So, okay, so it didn't have on my neck like I do now, or like as far down. It was just like pus. And so I had stopped taking it, and then they were like, oh no, like that can happen, like, so take it, like continue. So I'm still taking it, but like now it's like kind of spreading more, and it could be like a reaction to the medication, or it could be like, oh, it's working, like it looks physically worse, but internally it's getting better, like, cause I mean the last time I showed there was getting better, and it had gone where, I don't know, positive thinking, and then, or it could be like a negative, like adverse type reaction, but I choose not to think that, and like, the rash itself does not hurt at all. Like, it looks really ugly, and that's all it is ugly. Like, it's not itchy, it's not hot, there's no pain. Like, I'm very, very, very fortunate for that. Like, it could be much worse, because they are very similar looking to hives. The only thing is they're not really raised. Like, I kind of just that fancy chicken pox. But I mean, honestly, there's not that many side effects that I experience from the medicine. So if this is the worst of it, like, okay, like, I guess I'll take it. Like,
Did they go over any other side effects you may potentially have?
there's a lot of side effects that are like possibilities, like, so losing your hair is always like any form of chemo you do, it's like a thing. So when I did radiation, it was like probably from here down, bald, and it was like sunburned, like red, because the radiation is ultimately like a laser beaming at the area of concern. And then like currently this is like a wig, because the, yeah, I'm trying to think. The infusion, I never have went like completely bald, but my hair is very, very thin, and like I lose it pretty often. Like the best way I could describe is like when men wake up, or women with short hair, it's like very wispy, like just strands doing nothing. Please, like, that's my hair. You could like see, you could just, oh, that's her scalp. So it's like, it's a constant battle. And more side effects, I take a nap like every day. Like, I sleep a lot, honestly. When I had radiation, I would have radiation every day, Monday through Friday at 12:50, and right after radiation, I would go home and sleep for like 2 or 3 hours. And then when I did the infusion chemo, it was pretty similar. I would sleep, but the thing with the infusion chemo, when I did it, it was once every 4 weeks, so it wasn't the same time every day, or even the same time every 4 weeks. So, but regardless, like, it made me tired. And also my foot like was sore after. The other thing, it's not a side effect, but I got my port, and the next day I had chemo. So like they were like pushing on it, and I would show you my part. I don't have a shirt on, I'm sorry. But it's there. You can like see it, even if it's, I'm blushing. But And then another, with the infusion chemo, I was very nauseous. Probably like I had to take steroids after that chemo. And then I also had like as needed medication, but it was for nausea. So I only actually threw up a few times, but like I wouldn't eat, like it was not a good time. And then all of those things can also happen with the medication I'm currently on, but I mean, I have experienced like a rash. I still nap every day. I get like between my fingers is like cracking skin, and like that's a side effect. More so a side effect of the tumor than of the medicine. Like the left side of my mouth is like very numb. Like I could, like, if this would not happen, but if I chose to bite my tongue off on that side, I would feel it. But like it's like always tingly, and yeah. And another side effect, there's a bunch of the brain tumor, but like, so I failed to mention this, I am so sorry. During my brain surgery, I had a stroke. So like that affected my left side, but I can explain that thing, it just happened. But it like neuropathy kind of, like I lose feeling in my right hand, and that is because the brain tumor, because the stroke, and now just the tumor. So
the tumor in your brain, where exactly is it, and why can't they just take it out?
So
Like
the tumor I had in 2009, I believe I said I had one and it was up here, but I must have had two, because it was also, there's a part of your brain called the cerebellum, and that is like where all your fine motor skills are, such as balance, which is why I don't have any. And so the tumor was there, and in December 2020 they just did like the same route they took before, so like to get the tumor out. So that's why I believe that I had a tumor in my cerebellum in 2009 as well, because the scar tissue, the tumor grew, like how they chose to get it. But now the tumor is kind of like my brain as a whole, and then where the tumor was, I like, it sounds like annoying to say, but like really have a hole in my brain, like it's just a big hole, and then over here there is the other tumor, so they can't go back in to get it, or they couldn't when it was as large as it was, because it was growing into my brain stem. And if you go, and if anybody operates on the brain stem, risky business. Like they had told me before, like if we were to do that, you would most likely like be vegetable. Like you wouldn't have any, you couldn't talk, like you probably would be blind, like you wouldn't walk again, like, so it's like, I don't want that. So they couldn't, because I'm sure you could find someone to operate there, but it wouldn't be ideal. And then also because it would be the same route they took, which would be the third time they've taken that route to get to the tumor. So it was just better to not.
So the medication that you're taking shrinks the tumor as of what you know right now.
Mm-hmm.
If it shrinks enough, have they stated that they can do another surgery, or are they saying because it was so close to your brainstem that they just wouldn't attempt it again?
So, they won't, I won't have surgery again on where the tumor is, but also if the tumor is like shrunken enough, they still won't like go in it for it. And that is partially because it could like go away, but because their brain cells are cancerous, like even if I were to have an MRI, yeah, even if I were to have an MRI and everything like looks great, like there's still a cancer. So they can't go in and get it regardless of like how small it would be, but also like regardless like what happens, like it will still be there. The tumor I have has a mutation, so the mutation is what is causing like all the cancer cells to hang in there.
Yeah. What is the best outcome of the current medication that you're on?
So the best outcome of the medication that I'm currently on would just be like continue to shrink it, like it sounds.
Go ahead.
So even if the medicine works for like the next 5 years, possibly in 5 years, whatever, however many years it is, the tumor will stop responding to the medicine. So that is like where the caveat is. Like right now, the tumor has shrunk, which is great. But I like to look at it as there's like static electricity coming out of it. It's kind of like a tumor and then tree roots, but the roots grow this way, and then nobody knows if these things are gonna grow to be tumor, if they're not, like what they are. So we're kind of just like, cool, it shrunk, but also like weary, like, well, we don't know what those are, if they're anything, or what that means.
Let's talk about the financial part of the medication that you're on. So how much does it cost, and does insurance cover it?
So the medication I'm currently on, like, it doesn't compare to what other people have to deal with, and I am like more than aware. But like the copay is like in the thousands of dollars range, and that is like if insurance is helping. So even with help, it's still like extremely expensive. And that's not to say like if that medication stops working, how much other medication will be. I know somebody who had a different brain tumor but had surgery, and surgery was $583,000. So like, and luckily insurance plays their part, but like even in some cases, like insurance doesn't do a ton. Like my husband, he is like a perfectly healthy human, and then there's me. So you see how that works out. So his insurance, I can be on it, but it's 80-20. So like insurance would cover 80% of whatever it is, but as long as I pay 20%. But even for MRIs, because I do them every 2 months, like I wouldn't finish paying the last MRI by the next MRI, like, and it would just pile up. Like, it really blows my mind. I currently get disability, but not enough where if I didn't have like family support where I could have a roof over my head and grocery shop, or have a car and, Lord forbid, like take care of a child or another human or anything of the sorts. Like it really, like financially, I've been very blessed in the sense like of having support, but it can only go so far type of thing, as well as like it's nobody else's responsibility. not even that I believe it should be mine to have to do all these things, but I think like after some time, like it's just too hard. Like really, like thousands of dollars. My pill is like this big. Like it's madness.
So are you paying out of pocket for it right now?
So I was in a health plan because so I taught first grade, and when I had the option of either taking out the plan with that, like not with them, but like they offered something I could do, or I got nothing, and that was almost $800 a month for just healthcare, which is insane, honestly. And so I was really, really fortunate to, one, be able to qualify for that, but also like to have help to be able to have that, because my big thing is continuity of care. Like I don't want other doctors simply because like I have a lot going on, and so I want to stay with doctors who I know, who I've worked with, like who know what is going on, and there are a lot that don't allow that. So the plan I chose, I could stay, but it was very expensive. So now I'm like currently in between trying to figure out health plans and insurances, and it's really very messy. And like what's best, what's not, how much, how will I do this, how will I do that, like it truly adds up so quickly. Like I really don't think like people who don't have to do it realize like how much, which I mean I didn't either. Diabetes wasn't a cheap experience I've had, but I mean I didn't think like thousands of dollars a month. So
Is there a financial obligation to staying in the trial that you're in?
no. So you mean the medication I'm currently
Yeah,
on?
so if you're unable to purchase the medication or come up with the funds ahead of time, do you lose your spot in that trial?
Oh, I see. So the medication I'm currently on, I had to like get approved for it, and so that took some time, and because it is working, I was able to pick it up today, for instance. So I think it only benefits the company to say like, oh, it's working, let's keep going. But as soon as it doesn't, like don't know why I would take it personally, and two, I don't think like the company would help anymore. There's no like no, I suppose not. Like it's really just like for how long, like, and because all of it's like in the unknown, like I cannot say if they'll help me for 2 years or less or more or whatnot.
Say, actually, there's a bunch of girls over here.
Oh. I showed him my badge. I said, look at what Alicia made me. And he was like, oh, God.
I almost was like gonna tell Jacob, hey, don't let Courtney in without looking at her
She
badge.
told me to send something ugly, and I took too long because I was doing something. And I was like, damn. I was gonna send the tanning bed one. I don't.
It was almost this. Or this.
I like the
Look at that one.
Yeah, the lunch lady one's good.
I just burped tomato soup.
You
did
what?
Burped tomato soup.
Oh, I thought you
Yeah.
said you ripped your new suits.
Yep, I did.
I got that on. I got that recorded.
Perfect.
Yeah. I think you should talk about like now let's talk about like happy stuff, like things that have happened through your journey, like you got married, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah,
What
sure.
else? Yep.
Tell us how you met Axel.
Oh no.
Yeah, how'd you meet him?
Oh, at a party.
What is it?
We were playing shuffleboard. And
So it sounds innocent.
yeah, that's really, that truly happened. And then he became obsessed with me.
Couldn't get rid of him?
I'm funny. I hate that as I say that.
So you got him with your shuffleboarding skills, and then he just never left?
Yeah, it's like, dang girl. You really know how to shuffle up.
Dang, girl.
It was all over from there.
We were in our party stage is what happened.
That is true.
We lived together and slept in the same full bed.
You're really good with dates. Do you remember the exact date you met him?
I don't.
She said at the beginning, she said,
I know.
I have a bad memory, and then she said, on July.
I know those dates because I took Sally. like this. I also wrote it down. Because they had a...
2017, right? 2017.
For what?
When you
No,
met
next
Axel.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. I know I started dating him July 10th.
What was the first date?
Shuffleboard. Listen.
I don't know. I do know I texted him. I said, I want to make sure that we're also friends, not just friends. And so... And so he took me out to lunch, and I immediately was like, I think you took me on a date. That's true.
It is?
Like, Allie,
What?
what do we do?
Yeah. And I was just out sleeping with Ryan. She's like, take me to lunch first. And I'm like, I come home, like, walk of shame into the house.
And he's like, feed me.
I'm like, oops, sorry.
How did he propose? I don't even know this story.
How did he or when did he?
How did he?
Very good. Well,
When did he? July?
What time?
5:42 p.m.
Okay, actually, so I made it very, 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 very bold, underlined, capitalized, very clear. I wanted my nails done, and I wanted our families to be there, and I wanted to be by the water. So we went out to eat. No. First, he took me on a helicopter tour.
Oh.
Yeah, he is very over the top. You think I am? So he took me on a helicopter tour, and then we went to this place called Gino's at the Point. I don't have people, but we went there. I don't know. But we went there, and then we ate, and then we went to the water at like sunset, and then he wrote me a love letter. Really, he's over the top. He like burned the edges, sprayed it with cologne, like very. And then at the end was like, oh, I want to make this day memorable. Turn around. So then he proposed, and then our families came out, and Cleo was very small at that time. And Cleo ran out, which was a mistake, honestly, because she was a puppy. Like, We should have had her unleash Girl Was Wild. But we didn't. So she ran out. She was supposed to have a rose on a balloon. She popped the balloon and ate the rose. So, and then she also disappeared for a while. We had no idea where she was. And we found her with her head buried in the sand trying to eat a hot dog. It was at Redondo. No, was it? Is that what Jim?
Yes, that's where
Brown,
it's next to,
Brown. Yeah.
Yep.
It was there by the. It was like on the shore. Like, yeah. It was very nice. So.
Did he make sure your nails were done?
Oh yeah. And he like we went out and he bought me a new outfit. Like,
Did you
yeah.
think it was gonna happen?
Did I think? I was hopeful because August 20th was like a very special day, and that was a long time before he asked like what's more important, like July 10th or August 20th. And I was like, well, July 10th had passed. So
I'm not waiting till next year.
it's like August 20th, and I truly did think August 20th was a very important date. So then he chose that date, and so then Gino's catered the wedding. And then we went there on our 1 year anniversary, and it was a comfortable love.
Tell us about your big day.
Well, it was nice. It was very nice. It was like, okay, it was very nice, except, it was, okay, wait, it really was very nice. So the ceremony was at the church I grew up in, which was really like, it was just like really heartwarming, I suppose, to get married. Then my parents got married there. My godparents got married there. It was just nice. And that it was like it was just also lovely. Like it was just a happy day.
Pastor for.
Well, he like was very involved for a long time. Yeah. And the pastor that married us, like, we met with him, like, a few weeks prior and then leading up to it. And it was very, like, he was really laid back and so worked with our schedule. And Axel is a coach, so he was a coach as well, so they got along well, like, it worked out well. And I currently volunteer at their preschool at their church. So like I saw him like frequently. So it worked out. Like I knew him on a like 1-to-1 and to Axel as well. And so we got married there. And I remember it was very hectic, honestly, because like I had designed these cards that said like bride and like on my or bride family, like bridesmaid, like, and then this like floral background, like it did all this very extra stuff. And then like I had to go the day of, like send people go, like it was just crazy. But it was nice. The girl, I was sharing this earlier, the girl, so my wedding dress, she had bought, some girl had bought multiple dresses because it was during COVID for her wedding, and then she just had a courthouse wedding, which is fine as well, and so I did not think there was any way on this earth that the dress would fit me, but they tried it. I was like, oh, it's nice. It was like lace up top and then very simple on the bottom, and it fit. and I like text her like, oh, would you prefer Cash App or Zelle or Venmo or whatever? And she just gave me the wedding address. Yeah, like she was like buy me a coffee. And I've yet to buy her a coffee because she won't tell me how. So I'm like, okay. So, I mean, there were lots of like very beautiful things. Like we also, so our reception was at Black Diamond Gardens in like Little Pass Auburn. It was very beautiful. And we weren't sure if we could even have the wedding. Like, we were just gonna like elope, I guess, if we needed to, because I wasn't sure at the time, like, can I be by people? Can I not be by people? So I didn't, and like, the COVID effects were still happening, so everything was like limited people, limited, like only food from here, like, so it was very like, who knows what's going on. So we had it at Black Diamond, and because I didn't want to plan it with all of not the unknown, we got a wedding planner, and listen, she was not very friendly. So I was like, this is just like, why am I paying for this? Like, and then she became more friendly, like she was kind. I was like, no. She was friendly. and then really the day before the wedding, she was like, so at the time, we're not lazy about doing things. We just waited till like the day before they were due to do it, because like we didn't want to do it if the cancer got in the way. Like that's a lot of work to throw out the window. Like, so we just, it looked like we were like lazy. So I like told her, I was like, listen, I'm so sorry, like that's not us, like we just weren't sure. And then she started crying, and her mom had brain cancer and all this stuff. And I mean, I thought I should have told her much earlier. Like we could have been friends, like, and she was so kind. And then the next day, wedding, she brought all these fun things. It's like, oh.
So you found out her mom had brain cancer at the time you were telling her you had brain cancer? Wow, that's ironic.
Very much so. And so I was like,
and what kinds of things did she ask you to do you would wait until the very last minute to do?
Like get. No, she would ask us to like have the food that we want, that we're paying for, like the menu, I suppose, like how many people at each table, which way do you want the tables, like how do you plan to walk in, like, well, which is like very reasonable things. Like I just suck. Like I had a reason, but
I just suck.
I mean, so it all done, and we did the thing, got married, and it was like so great. Like it was very beautiful, and the weather was nice, which was not like that itself was like very nice.
Did you feel pretty because you had just cut all your hair off?
That's actually, I was gonna talk about my hair, like when I was like, so I have like down here, like kind of on my neck, on the nape of my neck, I don't know, that's a fancy word. I had hair, my hair was growing back from radiation, so during radiation, you lose your hair and hair around it, like where the radiation, the therapy is happening. So you lost like pretty much from here down, like the top of my ear down, there was a scar, sunburn, that's it. So then by the time we got married in August of 21, it had grown to the point I could curl it and like have somebody do it. But I'm just thinking about it. I had like patches of hair still growing, so I like to call them my werewolf hair. And I always point out like, oh, there's a werewolf hair, like, and it's just, you couldn't do anything with it. It's not bad. No one noticed it, but like I noticed it. So that was only like the only reason that I felt like self-conscious, I suppose. But besides that, it was like a very, wedding days are very like go go go.
You had a great makeup artist, didn't you?
Yeah, my makeup artist was phenomenal. Like chef's kiss, like so good, Allie.
Did you guys write your own vows?
No, I cry very, very, very easily, so I forgo. Like I was like, we're not doing vows, no. And
We're actually not doing a wedding at all. So like
no, the pastor was like, no, it's part of it. Like, and I would no.
I'm not getting hurt.
We're not doing that. Like, and like during the part, like we're supposed to do vows, I was like, I love you. I don't know, I love you, but like that's all you can say. I'm already crying. I'm not ruining my face for this. Like we have pictures still. So yeah, there was no way. I can't even talk about loving my family or all the nice stuff Axel does for me without like tearing up. Like on earth, I'm not doing vows.
yeah.
So Allie told us that you have something happening here soon, an event that you're going to. Do you know what I'm talking about? She doesn't know about it, right?
Wait,
She knows what
the
her
concert?
Yeah, the one that I'm jealous about that you're going.
Oh yes, a Morgan Wallen concert in July in Arizona. My best friend Megan, she bought tickets. Well, what happened was she like shared the Ticketmaster thing or whatever on Facebook, and then she's like, "Oh, I want to go," and so. I commented like, let's go. She's like, where? I was like, I don't care. It's like, well, let's go to New Zealand. And I was like, yeah, okay, that's doable. And then the next day, she like tagged me in like a picture, a screenshot she took of like 2 tickets bought, like all this, and I just like texted her like, what, like. No way. And then she was like, yeah, like I bought us tickets. So yeah, we're gonna.
What does Morgan Wallen mean to you? Do you just like his music?
Replacement Nick Jones.
Yeah, too bad he doesn't have diabetes. Just kidding, that's a blessing. He doesn't mean anything like out of this world. Like I like his music. That sounds so mean. I'm sorry, Morgan Wallen.
So he doesn't mean that much to you?
Well, he means a lot to me, but not like, hey, Betsy.
Not like Nick Jonas.
We were gonna not cancer.
Diabetes?
We were gonna kill them.
Cure diabetes. Morgan Wallen.
Maybe he'll cure diabetes.
You have good hair.
Are you going to the Red Rocks? Which one's in
No,
Arizona?
it's in Phoenix. The concert is, but Megan lives in Chandler, so I mean,
Are you excited to see Morgan Wallen?
yeah, I'm very excited, and I'm very excited to be so extra about everything, like cowboy boots and shorts, and really, I just go all out.
My
Why
battery may die here anytime soon. Do you want to
Any
ask
kind
anything
of
else
thought.
specifically?
Don't make.
My battery is gonna die here soon. Is there anything else specifically you want in this?
I'm trying to think really quick.
What do you feel this experience has taken away or given you?
it's given me a lot of patience. Like, a lot of patience. And I mean, maybe when I'm upset in the moment, it's taken away things, but like ultimately, like in the bigger picture, like I think I've really only gained from it. I mean, granted, I could maybe learn like a lot of skills not having cancer, but I don't know. I mean, I think truly like, I'm a very spiritual person, so I don't mean to like offend anyone, but like I think there's a plan for everyone, so like follow the yellow brick road. You'll get there eventually. Whatever's supposed to happen will happen. And I mean, that's the truth of the matter, because like, well, really, like, I'm not supposed to be here right now. Like, if everything went as the doctor said, as everything, like, I would have been toast a while ago. But, like, I'm here and now my tumor has shrunk. Like, so miracles happen. I mean, yeah.
Do you have a motto that you say?
Baby steps are still moving forward. And miracles are real. Both. Because, like, so in the beginning, in the beginning, when there are, like, leaps and bounds of progress. Like, oh, I can walk now. Oh, I can stand up on my own. Like, oh, I can write my name. Like, just, I can write the letter A, like, whatever it might be. And now I'm like, nothing is getting better. But it's like, oh, like, I can curl my hair. Like, I can hold the pencil and write a full sentence. Or I'm reading a book. Like, so it's just like little things like you don't recognize or you take for granted, and then you're like, when you look back and you're like, oh, like I did that, like that's cool. But like in the moment you're not really like, oh yay, and like that's great. So like baby steps are moving forward, and miracles are real, just cause I mean, hey.
What do you miss most about before your brain tumor?
Before my brain tumor, I think what I miss most is driving. Not in the sense